For over half a century, one of humanity's greatest achievements has remained shrouded in mystery. The Apollo program, NASA's bold leap into the stars, ended suddenly in 1972 after just 6 successful moon landings. Billions of dollars invested, thousands of scientists, engineers, and astronauts committed. A mission to explore the moon, abandoned. Why? Was it cost? Was it politics? Or was it something far stranger? Could it be that the astronauts of Apollo encountered something, or someone, that NASA has never revealed? And perhaps even more chilling, are there extraterrestrial structures on the moon? Tonight, we journey deep into the shadows of lunar history, unraveling official records, leaked testimonies, and the conspiracy theories that refuse to die. This is the hidden story of the moon. When President John F. Kennedy declared in 1961 that America would land a man on the moon before the decade was out, it became the greatest technological race in human history. The Apollo program was ambitious, expensive, and groundbreaking. From Apollo 11 in 1969 through Apollo 17 in 1972, 12 men walked on the lunar surface. They collected rocks, performed experiments, and planted the American flag. And then, just as suddenly, it was over. NASA had plans for Apollo missions 18, 19, and 20. Hardware had been built. Astronaut crews had been selected, but all were canceled. The official explanation? Cost and shifting political priorities. But many researchers have long asked, if the moon represented the pinnacle of exploration, why did humanity turn away so quickly? One of the most persistent claims in conspiracy circles is that astronauts encountered unexplained phenomena on the lunar surface. Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon, once spoke of a strange object that seemed to follow Apollo 11 on its way to the moon. NASA explained it away as part of the detached rocket booster, but Aldrin himself admitted that the crew wasn't so sure. Later, Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who walked on the moon in 1971, became an outspoken believer in extraterrestrial life. While he never directly claimed to have seen alien structures himself, Mitchell insisted that governments were concealing the truth about UFOs and non-human intelligence. Then there's Neil Armstrong. According to persistent rumors, though never confirmed, Armstrong allegedly radioed back to mission control during Apollo 11 with an urgent classified transmission, describing giant ships watching us from the crater's edge. NASA denies this, but the legend refuses to die. In the decades since Apollo, photographs of the moon taken by satellites, telescopes, and astronauts themselves have been scrutinized for anomalies. What some claim to see are not just craters and rocks, but structures, the Shard and the Tower. Early images from the Lunar Orbiter program in the 1960s appeared to show massive vertical structures rising miles above the surface. Researchers like Richard Hoagland argued these were remnants of an ancient alien city. The Castle, a translucent glass-like object supposedly photographed hanging above the moon's surface during Apollo missions. NASA allegedly suppressed the full-resolution images, domes and hexagonal patterns. Some believe remnants of massive domes or energy shields are faintly visible in certain lunar photographs, their outlines detectable under enhanced imaging. NASA insists these are all tricks of light, shadows, or photographic artifacts. But for those who believe, the evidence points to something else: ruins of an ancient extraterrestrial civilization. One of the most controversial stories emerged in the early 2000s when a series of leaked videos appeared online. They claimed to show footage from a secret joint American-Soviet Apollo 20 mission in the mid-1970s. The footage allegedly depicted a massive cigar-shaped spaceship crashed on the far side of the moon. Inside, astronauts supposedly discovered a preserved alien body, dubbed the Mona Lisa ET. Skeptics quickly dismissed the videos as elaborate hoaxes, but believers insist they prove why Apollo missions ended so abruptly. If humanity had discovered alien technology on the moon, something so advanced it could change the balance of global power, would it have been quietly covered up? Long before Apollo, astronomers observed mysterious activity on the moon. Records from the 1800s describe transient lunar phenomena, flashes of light, strange glows, and movement in craters. Even in recent decades, satellites have recorded unexplained anomalies, temporary light emissions, strange mists, and unusual heat signatures. Could these be natural lunar events, or evidence of ongoing activity, perhaps even the operation of hidden bases? Throughout the 1960s and 70s, as the space race raged, UFO sightings increased dramatically. Some researchers believe this is no coincidence. If extraterrestrials were monitoring humanity's first steps into space, the moon, our closest celestial neighbor, would be the perfect vantage point. UFO whistleblowers, including former military personnel, have suggested that the moon is home to secret alien outposts, a place from which Earth has been observed, perhaps for millennia. If humanity truly found alien structures on the moon, why would that lead to an end of lunar missions? One possibility: we were warned off. Some conspiracy theorists claim that after Apollo 17, a decision was made, whether by NASA, by shadow governments, or under extraterrestrial pressure, that humanity should not return. Others argue the opposite, that we never stopped. While NASA abandoned public Apollo missions, secret programs, sometimes referred to as the Secret Space Program, may have continued exploration in secret, far from the eyes of the public. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that every supposed structure on the moon can be explained as natural geology. The moon's surface, battered by billions of years of impacts, produces unusual formations that can look artificial under certain lighting. The Apollo program's cancellation, they argue, was simple economics. The Vietnam War drained U.S. resources, public interest waned, and robotic probes could do much of the same science for a fraction of the cost. To them, there is no cover-up, only human imagination turning shadows into alien ruins. In recent years, lunar exploration has returned, not by humans, but by robotic missions. China's Chang'e landers, India's Chandrayaan missions, and NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter have all sent back high-resolution data. So far, no confirmed alien structures have been found, but interestingly, some anomalies remain. Strange magnetic fields in certain craters, unusual concentrations of rare metals, evidence the moon may once have been geologically active far more recently than thought. For believers, these are hints that something about the moon still doesn't add up. Beyond alien structures, the moon itself is an enigma. It is unusually large compared to Earth. No other planet in the solar system has such a proportionally massive moon. Its orbit is perfectly circular, and its rotation is tidally locked, meaning the same face always points toward Earth. Seismic data from Apollo revealed the moon rings like a bell when struck, suggesting a strange internal structure. Some have speculated the moon may even be artificial, a hollowed-out construct placed in orbit eons ago. If that sounds absurd, consider this. What better vantage point to monitor a young, developing civilization than a satellite permanently stationed in their sky? Now, more than 50 years later, humanity is preparing to return. NASA's Artemis program, along with missions from China, India, and private companies like SpaceX, are all planning new lunar exploration in the 2020s and 3030s. If alien structures do exist on the moon, could the next generation of explorers finally reveal them? Or will such discoveries, if they occur, be concealed once again? The Apollo program remains a triumph of human history, but also a mystery. Did we really abandon the moon because of budget cuts? Or because we discovered something that was too dangerous, too shocking, or too transformative to reveal? Are there ruins of extraterrestrial civilizations just beyond the horizon of our vision? Ancient monuments hiding in shadowed craters, waiting to be rediscovered? For now, the truth remains out of reach. But one thing is certain: the moon holds secrets we have only begun to uncover. And when humanity returns, we may finally learn whether we are alone in the universe or whether the footprints on the lunar dust are not just ours. What do you think? Did the Apollo astronauts encounter something they weren't meant to see? Are there alien structures on the moon? Or is it all shadows and imagination? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest space mysteries, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next exploration of the unknown.